Hey, beautiful spirits. So today, let's talk about letting yourself be happy. Stop sabotaging relationships, any kind of relationship. Because if this has been going on for a while, you find that it happens in every relationship eventually. And what contributes to it? So usually on Mondays, we talk about depression, anxiety, and stuff. And today we're going to talk about this because sometimes the bullies are so familiar to us that we will sabotage good things. Not that we want to. It sucks, I know. But we sabotage good things because it's just not familiar. So it's a fear of the unknown. And yes, I have notes again. I always forget to say what I want to say, so please excuse that. So it's the fear of the unknown. It's not knowing and it's wanting to know. And so you keep yourself safe because you don't know, right? Familiar, there's traumas, there's past programming. So that all comes into play. And it doesn't matter your age. It doesn't matter your status in life. It doesn't matter your relationship status. It doesn't matter anything. If all those things are there and haven't been healed yet, especially things from your past, you might be surprised. And things that you might have healed before, you thought, eventually it comes around again because it wasn't completely healed. Maybe you weren't ready for it and you were saved from, as hard as it would have been to go further. So now you're ready to go further and heal this even more, past stuff. And a lot of people have a lot of things from childhood that affect them even today, 50 years old, 60 years old, whatever. And it helps to heal those things so you can have the best life possible. You can get your sparkle back and really live your life. So let's get into this. So some people, it's weird, even people in the same family. So you could be raised by the same parents and maybe you all were treated the same and one person is not affected and they're an extrovert and they go do everything. Maybe that extrovert stuff is their defense mechanism, where yours may be going inward, being an introvert and hiding from the world and hiding your sparkle from the world. Maybe that's your defense mechanism from those traumas. And other times, everybody's different. Every child is different. So sometimes the parents may have treated one child different than the other, because of how the interactions are, because of how one is outgoing and outspoken and one isn't. So that plays a part. And so if you continue on through life and you haven't healed certain things, then you end up with fear-based thinking or overthinking. But fear-based thinking, you may have the past reappearing in your life because it is what's familiar, or because you'll talk yourself out of the good stuff because it's not what you're familiar with. And maybe you were told you aren't worthy of healthy relationships. Maybe you were told, oh, you're not that great. You're not a good whatever. And so that is in the back of your mind like a program in the computer. And so when something good comes along, you go, no, that doesn't feel right. It either feels too comfortable or it feels too good to be true. I did that in my life big time. And it's sad when you realize sometimes years later that that's what you've done. And you've allowed the familiar to keep coming in. But it's not your fault and you're not a bad person for it. So please don't take any part of this video as anything bad. This is just to help so you can be happy. Let yourself be happy finally. So forgive me for reading my sloppiness. You've seen it before, right? Isn't the Christmas paper cute though? Okay, so what tends to happen is if you're used to the familiar, you'll like self-fulfill the bad outcomes because that's what you're used to. So you'll act in ways to make it happen the way you're used to it happening. Maybe you don't even know that you're doing that. It's all subconscious, like we were talking about. It's programming, right? So you could have somebody wonderful in your life. They may not be a narcissist. They may not be a bad person. They may be somebody great. But because you're not used to the comfort, you're not used to how good they are, you're not used to being treated properly, maybe you will act in a way that you don't want to, but maybe you start nagging at them. Maybe you start picking at them. Maybe you start insulting them, or maybe you withdraw from them altogether and they're like, what? So that is subconsciously your programming fulfilling the outcomes of the past because it is comfortable. It's what you're used to. Is it the best? No, but it's what you know. And so people tend to stay in a comfort zone that way because it may be stinky like a dirty diaper, but it's warm and comfortable. So that's what happens. And a lot of the time, some of those relationships, like one in my past, it was destined to be wonderful, right? But I wasn't ready for that at that time. So sometimes those kind of things happen to see if it'll jar you into fixing that programming, reprogramming yourself with more positive things. And so what you'll notice is, I can't read that at all. Well, let's talk about this. So have you ever broken up with someone to avoid what you thought was going to be a repeat of a past program, but it was unfounded? Has that ever happened? I did that before. And they're too good to be true, like we were talking about. So here's what's happening now. Now, if you're thinking about this, and if you're feeling in your life that there's really good people, there's really good situations and things, but then there's also some of this other stuff that is more like what you're used to, so you think, that's where I'm supposed to be because that's how it's always been. No, what's happening is you're becoming more aware. You're becoming more aware of your hurts. You're becoming more aware of your programming. You're becoming more aware of what's possible in your life and what you truly deserve. So there's two forms of thinking. There's two things, two energetic experiences going out at the same time. So if you're getting both, instead of being upset about that, be grateful, because guess what? You're at the next level now. So the more you focus on the good stuff coming in, and the more you practice, I am going so out of order. Whatever. The more you practice allowing the good and realizing you do deserve it. It's going to be really uncomfortable, but think of it this way. It's like a muscle, right? So you're allowing this good, and your subconscious and your fear is going to start talking to you, and it's going to say, you know what? You don't deserve that. No. This person's too good to be true. They're going to hurt you later, or something's going to happen, or nitpick, or something, right? So you need to strengthen that muscle of allowing the good and realizing you are worthy, you are deserving, you are moving up and healing in your life. Those traumas do not have control over you anymore. You just have to break free. So it's like exercising. So if you have zero core at all and you start doing push-ups or crunches or planks or something, you're going to feel like, oh, I can only do one. Forget it. I'm not going to do it anymore. But if you continue and you add on more and more all the time, you're going to find that you're stronger and stronger. And then in a year from now, you'll realize one day, like, whoa, even 3 months, that's all it really takes. But just think about it. Like a year from now, you will be like, wow, last year I could barely do one sit-up. And now I am like doing all these things. I'm exercising, I'm fit, I'm doing a marathon, and then you'll be like, wow, a year ago I would have thought that was impossible. Same thing with this. You can allow yourself to be happy. You can learn to be happy. You can strengthen that muscle. And what will be uncomfortable at first will eventually be comfortable. So instead of sitting with the bullies because we're familiar with them and they treat us, they tell us we're not deserving, and depression and anxiety and all this stuff kicks in, and they say, well, you're not deserving of it, so whatever, just deal with it. Instead of being comfortable with them, we don't have to be. We can just tell them, you know what? No, there's a new way that I am going to be comfortable with. I am going to practice allowing myself the good and healing traumas and realizing that past programming is just something that was passed down. Maybe your parents had the same kind of programming and they didn't know any better. So if you can forgive that, or whoever hurt you, and please forgive yourself the most. Forgive yourself and allow yourself the gift of allowing yourself to be happy. Enjoy those good moments because you deserve them and you're calling them into your life. And the more you let them in, the fewer the uncomfortable stuff will have any control anymore. You will be living happier. So let yourself be happy. Let yourself realize all of this was just programming. All of this may have been hurt from traumas from years ago, and you can heal yourself. You deserve it. You're worthy of it. The sparkle belongs to you. Nobody sparkles like you. So let yourself be happy. And comment below. Let me know if there's anything you've done that has helped you become more comfortable with the new way of being, helped you get out of your comfort zone, help you to get away from those bullies a little bit so you can move forward into the sunshine and the happiness that you deserve. Let me know. Hit like, subscribe, comment below, share, and let's do this. All right, be the sparkle. Bye for now.